You keep hearing me barking about infrastructure. A lot of people, other candidates actually talking about infrastructure too. But what does it mean? What else does it entail? It's not just water. It's not just sewer. Let's talk about something just simple as sidewalks, because this has been a pet peeve of mine since I've been here. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've walked in front of my own home and knowing what the sidewalk is like, and I've still tripped. I've seen my kids as they've grown older. Their entire lives, they've known nothing but an incredibly uneven sidewalk, and they still trip over it and about fall flat on their faces. I can't take my dogs around the block without running across uneven sidewalks like this. Streetscaping is not a bad thing to do, but when 75 to 100 years ago, when they did the streetscape in here and they put these oak trees all along, that eventually, guess what? They were going to grow, and when they grow, you got these big old roots that are gonna, and then when they did the sidewalk, they did these concrete slabs side by side by side by side, and they're pushed up almost like frost heaves, like you would see up in the northern states. We've ignored the infrastructure when it comes to stuff like that. We don't have sidewalks everywhere that they need to be, and we're trying to remedy that. So let's say on South Rayford right now, where they're wanting to build some sidewalks, and I've been there. Right? And I looked where the sidewalk comes down, and then there's like no sidewalk for quite a while. And then, oh, there's more sidewalk. And they skipped all in between, which was absolutely stupid. Never should have happened that way. And so now they want to go spend, the money to, because first you got to get the property, you got to do the eminent domain thing to get the right of way in order to build the sidewalk. And then you've actually got to do the construction on those sidewalks. And then you've got to eventually maintain them, which we have not been doing here in this town. Usually I'm a big proponent of the idea you don't get something new unless you maintain what you've already got. And that's kind of the way I was about the Civic Center, because we had other buildings that would serve that purpose, and yet we bought it anyway. But that was another video for another time. We have sidewalks around here that, it's not going to be as expensive as some of the other infrastructure that we need to take care of, but it's something we've been kicking the can down the road on, at least since I've been here, over 19 years. We did something stupid in that we paid somebody to try to grind down the concrete to try to make it smooth, but you got some areas like right out in front of my house, I was like, you're not going to be able to grind that baby down in order to make it smooth. So we had some nice clean angles that have been ground down. And then we got grant money, from what I understand, to make nice intersections where the sidewalks would come down and meet the street, which actually are very nice, and they're great for handicapped access. But what's the point of that if halfway down the block they can't go anywhere with that motorized scooter or wheelchair? Because the sidewalk is so uneven and never taken care of, and it's something we've known we've had to do, but we haven't. It's never been a priority. It's time that we start making a plan to make it a priority. I'm all for putting in the new sidewalk over on South Rayford, that kind of thing, and spending our money on that. No problem with it at all. I don't care what neighborhood it's in, or I don't care what the demographics are in the neighborhood. If it's something that's needed to be done and we've been neglecting it, we need to take care of it. Over here, I feel the same way. It's something we've had, we have not maintained. That's been a failure on our town's part. We've needed to do it, we haven't, we've chosen not to. That's a leadership problem. Stuff like that cannot continue in this town. We need to start making plans. We need to start doing budgeting accordingly. And quite honestly, some of the major infrastructure that we need to do in this town, it may very well take some bond referendums. They may. I don't know. But those are things that we need to look at. We need to get some answers, and we need to take some decisions on how to take care of our infrastructure, how to grow our infrastructure, and how to maintain and replace the existing infrastructure that we have. Sidewalks are a part of that infrastructure. It's just one example. And I use that example a lot because, number one, I'm tired of it happening. Here's the other thing. Part of my background has been risk avoidance. Risk assessment, risk avoidance is part of my education and my professional background. So, you know, eventually someone's going to get hurt and the town's going to have a huge liability. These are things we need to consider when we look at infrastructure. All right, well, that's it. You can probably hear my knucklehead dog in the next room barking. I don't know why. I might as well wrap up the video. VoteForTroy.com.